You see, yeah, everybody
Okay.
in the middle, everybody.
Just talk two-way camera.
What is going on?
SCY, welcome back to the second episode of the Youth Booth. It's been a little bit of time, but I have some guests here today. The Youth Booth is a podcast show where we are supposed to have current students. Today, it's a little different. I have all graduated students talking about faith, what it means to grow up as a Christian, what you guys are wrestling through. We'll start here first. Hayden, can you introduce yourself?
I'm Hayden. I was on episode 1. I know you guys remember me. It's
All right, kid.
yeah. I'm almost 18. I'm not, I'm not an adult yet.
What school did you go to?
You want me to DDoS myself? Bonita High School in Laverne.
Okay. What campus do you go
I
to?
attend the Azusa campus.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Mehdi, introduce yourself.
My name is Meheta Tab Adam Workman. That's my full name, by the way. But you can call me
Full name
Mehdi.
drop.
Yeah, full name drop. Full name drop.
Okay.
I'm proud. You got to be proud. I'm almost 18. I'll be 18 tomorrow.
Happy birthday.
And then what high school I went to?
Yeah, school and what campus you attend.
I'm online. I went to San Diego Missions Academy. It's pretty great. And then I attend Hunter Park.
Beautiful. Dean?
3 years ago.
Hi guys.
Oh my gosh.
My name is Dean. I forgot the second question already. Sorry.
What school did you go to?
What school did I go to? I went to Bethel Christian High School.
Okay. What campus do you go to?
I go to Hunter Park. It's pretty fun.
What?
What-
Why did you say
what did you
Hunter
say?
Park?
Just like
I don't know why I said it
Hunter
like that.
Park.
Because
I
I
know
was
Hunter
deciding whether
Park.
between to say HP or Hunter Park, and
Okay.
whatever that was happened.
What group of boys do you lead at Hunter Park?
I lead 8th grade boys.
Shout out
guys.
to Dean's 8th grade boys.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
If you remember from the last episode, Dean was behind the camera. Now he gets to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so today, let's try to keep us on track here.
Yeah, we
got that.
I hit you guys up because we were all talking. You guys wanted to film some content. To timestamp this, we are in the middle of the hymn series at Sandals Church talking about biblical manhood. We just celebrated Father's Day this past Sunday. And I was like, yo, these guys have grown up in church. They have thoughts about what it means to be a man. And most of them have dads. Some relationships are good. Some of them are not so good. Let's talk about it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Kind of share some insight on that. What, Dean? What's so funny already?
Stop, bro.
Where are you?
Stop.
What are you starting with?
Dude, I didn't do nothing yet.
Yeah. Emphasis on yeah.
Okay, first question that I'm going to start us off with.
Okay.
What was it like growing up in the church? And how did that shape how you view who you are? I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm just going to softball that one out into the air.
Or, yeah,
Whoever wants to
who's
answer
gonna
it
hit a
first.
grand slam, Bryce Harper style.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
both looked at me.
Yeah.
Lead by example, Dean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's
you're older.
Let's start
come
with
on.
you.
I've been going to Sandals since I was in the 3rd grade. I've made a ton of friends here. It's been great. I've had a lot of impactful relationships here. It's been good to be in a community where there's always somebody that can either relate to what I'm going through or can help me out with what I've been going through. I've met some of my best friends here. It's been a very, very good journey. Before COVID, it used to be like I could almost say everybody's name that goes here, but after COVID, we grew so much as a church, and it's been great to see. But,
So, second part to the question I just asked you: how has growing up in the church shaped how you view who you are?
I feel like I've been able to give myself a positive image. Middle school wasn't the best for me. And middle school is when I found the most people here. So being able to know that this is a community that can lift me up, it's helped me to better myself and help me to just know that I'm not alone and know that I'm in a place that I can be real in and I don't have to lie about myself to people.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Bars. Fun fact: I met Dean when he was a middle schooler.
Sorry about that.
7th grade was my. I started serving in youth when you were in 7th grade. I wasn't your group leader, but there was only like 2 7th grade groups at Hunter Park, and so Dean was in the other group.
Yeah.
He was always super loud and causing distractions.
Yeah, I was.
He still does that.
Yeah. That's it.
You know Dane?
Dane,
I forget his
like
last
the
name.
old palm lead Dane?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
When I was in kids, he was my leader.
Oh, nice. Dang, yeah, that's way, way back then.
Yeah. If you think you had it bad, ask him. I was probably worse.
Probably. Probably. I can only imagine elementary school dean.
Yeah, it was
It
not good.
was probably lit.
Yeah.
All right, who wants to go next? What was it like growing up in church, and how did that shape how you view yourself?
I mean, when I was little, I mean, I went to different church before I went to Sandals Church. And then when I was 9, I came to Sandals Church. And I think that was really fun. There was a community here where I could trust and have fun with and talk about something serious or just even something light. And finding my faith was the most impactful thing because other churches that I went to wasn't like as real, or I just didn't know what believing in God means. Or like, but when I came here when I was 9 years old, I was like, I kept understanding like there's this guy called Jesus. You know, he died for me, and if I believed in him, that I'll go to heaven. I'm like, I've never heard that before in my entire life.
Not even at the old church?
Because I was a Catholic and so I had a different belief back then. So when I came here, everything made perfectly sense. What the messages was about, it made perfectly sense. And finding my faith kind of helped me determine what God wants me to do with my life instead of following the worldly ways of life. So that was very impactful for me, I think.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. How did growing up in church, like that time at 9 years old, how did that shape how you view who you are now? You said you're about to turn 18. That's 9 years of life. So being in this community, how did that shape how you view Medi?
I mean, I view myself as a pretty fun guy to be around with,
That's very true. Can't confirm. Can't confirm.
Is that like is that a Kawhi Leonard quote?
Yeah,
For
sure.
What?
But no,
Who that is.
that's it helped me realize about myself is that I think God came into the world to love people, and it helped me to realize like how to love people,
Right.
and how what I say when what I do affects others. I think that was internally like I learned a lot about myself of like how I view people and how I view myself of like with respect, and that really helped me. Even being around with people my age or younger kids, it helped me of like, man, this is what God did. He loved people, and that really helped me with that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Wow, thanks for sharing that, man. Bars.
Wow.
Sound effect or something. I don't know.
Sound effect
Green
4.
screen.
Oh yeah, just an explosion starts going off.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, Hayden, you get to be last.
Oh, you're not gonna go?
Well, I'm asking you guys.
Oh, yeah,
This
that's
shows
true, that's true.
what you guys
No, yeah,
think. I
that's
mean,
true.
I'll give if you want me to give 2 cents. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I'd love to hear.
I didn't go
your
to
2 cents
Sandals
on the
growing
matter.
up. I went to a different church.
I didn't go to any church growing up. I've only been going to Sandals for 2 years, and Sandals is the only church I've known. Before that, I was not the greatest person. I was very depressed, very, not aware of who I was. I would hurt people. I would just, I wasn't a good person. And then my friend Aiden, you guys all know Aiden.
Shout out Aiden.
Shout out Aiden.
Shout out Aiden.
Love you, Aiden. He was like, bro, youth group. And I came. And that was 2 years ago. Yeah?
No, nothing.
And
He's having an honest moment here. and you're
I
gonna
know,
be a
I
clown,
know.
dude?
no, it's cool. It's cool.
No.
Sorry.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
And so I came, and ever since then, I've just been growing, not up in the church. Still, I'm growing in the church. I'm expanding my community and finding a different community. Did you guys hear that?
What was that?
Someone went. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now,
In the 2 years that you've been at
In the
Sandals,
2 years.
how has that shaped how you view yourself?
how I view myself now is
Let's do that. Before you went to church, how did you view yourself to now that you've been here for these last couple of years? How are you viewing yourself?
before I went to church, I was a very broken person, I'd say. I was, as I said earlier, ever since I've been going to church, it's been like this, constantly an upslope, but still has its downs and its ups. And so now I view myself as still like fixing myself, learning how to be a man of God. Like I want to be, I'm sure since we're in the hymn series, it's, but yeah, now I view myself as a pretty honest person. I'm trying to be, more vulnerable, and just open about who I am.
Bars.
Thank
That's
you.
really good. That's really good. Yeah, for sure.
What, Dean? What?
Nothing.
I just see it in your face. You're gonna make a joke about something.
Because you keep on looking at me like you're waiting for something. That's what makes me.
Because you're the one that's gonna do something.
I didn't do anything. I said, "Oh yeah, that's good," and then you just like what?
Yeah, growing up in church is was really fun. Like I remember being here while my parents are working, and I'm just hanging out in the lobby, like just having fun. Or if I'm here on Wednesday nights or Sundays, where I could just have a friend, you know, like that was super cool. I was new to this country. I wasn't born here, and to just come here and have somebody and to hear about this amazing person named Jesus, like I was like, who is this dude? Like I have never heard of him my entire life, and to find that I think was so impactful in my life of who the person that I am, and to become more godly man. And I mean, I still have my ups and downs, of course, because I'm just an idiot teenager. Sometimes I could be, but at the same time, I think, like Hayden said, while you're growing up in the church, it's always you're continuing to grow, and especially if you put in the effort of becoming a godly man.
Yeah, I loved what all three of you guys kind of said of like being in the church, growing up in the church, you're able to find a community that can be there for you when you hit those like down points. But I also love what you said of like growing up, you see Jesus being a loving person and a caring person, and that's how it like helped form you of like, okay, I need to be kind to people. I need to be like gracious to them, because I feel like for most guys, that's not just the first thought. I think dudes are usually pretty defensive. Like everyone's assuming the worst out of somebody else. But here it's like, yo, we actually got to embody something a little bit different than that.
Yeah, for sure.
And kind of like Mehdi said, before I joined the church, I did not believe in God. I believed in like there was a higher power, but I didn't believe in God. And so when I experienced Him, it's been an up ever since.
Yeah, for sure.
That's good stuff. Well, cool. So like we said earlier, we're in the middle of this hymn series. Let me find my second question because I don't remember them off the top of my head.
I wasn't prepared.
And Pastor Matt, I am prepared. I have the questions. I just don't remember them. In the first sermon, Pastor Matt mentioned like there was a survey of like if someone says think of a manly man, who would you say? And it was like all these older people. I think he said like Clint Eastwood, Chuck Norris, like some of those guys.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Did he say Steve Austin?
No, I did.
No.
Oh, okay.
Dean is going to be Randy Orton or something.
Now I was going
Orton,
to ask, who are some of your, like, if someone asks you that question, like, who is a manly man to you?
John Cena.
Okay, John Cena.
I'd say my dad. I mean, dude, if you guys don't, you guys know my dad, then he's jacked. Like if you think of a chick,
I'm afraid.
like he's just he's 6'4", jacked. He's a giga chad. Like I tell him all the time, like you're a giga chad. You got that whole style of like the jawline is so sharp, and I'm like,
you get a giga chat on the green
so
screen?
just shout out to my dad.
Well, if I can find a youth appropriate giga chad, yes, I
The
will.
Crimson Chin
Yeah.
from Fairy Odd Parents.
What?
Crimson Chin. Whatever.
This man said the
But-
Crimson Chin.
You know who I'm talking about.
Maddie's giving a real answer.
Real
right?
answer right here.
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
Come on, kid. No, I'm playing. But no, I think my dad installed a lot of things of like what is like how to become a godly man, and I was even talking to him about this because as I grow up, I'm turning 18, and what is that gonna look like? You know, I'm getting a lot of responsibilities, a lot of freedom, and how am I gonna navigate that? And there's just a couple of things he said is don't be passive. You know, as a man, I think being passive and like aggressive, it's like you're just shoving your feelings all the way down and not talking about it because you're like, oh, I'm a man, you know, like I'm just going through something. And then he said, do what needs to be done. I mean, as a man, you're going to have a lot of responsibilities of whether if you're single or married or have a girlfriend or have kids, there's a lot of responsibility that comes to that. And there's a lot of things that needs to be done. And it needs to be done, have it done. Other things he says is don't live just for the world. You know, it's like I think that thing he's always telling me is like, don't live just for the world. I mean, there's something much more greater than that.
Right.
And that's Jesus, and that's having a relationship with God. And I think he installed in that to me all the time. I mean, I struggle with a lot of things because I'm just a normal kid but I really try sometimes to follow those things that, as he said, is that, and having a responsibility too, and not making excuses for yourself. I
Right.
think that's a main point about becoming a man is like, instead of just making excuses for yourself, own it and like figure it out, work through it, and just So there's a lot of things that he like, taught me and showed me of like what becomes a man. I really look up to him a lot because I'm like, man, this is like a man, like this is a man of God, and so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I'm still intimidated by your dad.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
it is
No,
true.
I'm
Like,
intimidated.
if you're walking
People
around
say
Hunter
that.
Park and you see Adam Workman walking by, like you will know who it is because he's just tall and very fit, and he doesn't talk very much
No, he
around
does
me.
not.
So it's just like he'll just walk up and be like,
Yeah. No,
okay, what's up, dude?
yeah. He's pretty quiet. He's very chill, but like once you get him into the comfort zone, it's like he's
Yeah.
very fun to be around.
We're gonna play video games
Yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Dean, what about you? Who would you describe as like a manly man? It could be funny. It could be serious.
I mean,
it could be honest.
we did say it as a joke, but like thinking back to when I was like currently or like
Yeah, like okay, so maybe that's a better question. When you were growing up, who did you look up to as like, oh yeah, that's the guy?
yeah, no, we did say his name as a joke, but it was definitely John Cena. When I was growing up,
Dude, me too.
when I was growing up, it was in the middle of I'm a WWE guy by the way.
Yep,
but
yep.
It was in the middle of a lot of like they were pushing him a lot. They gave him a feud with a guy named CM Punk, and he was very much like do your work, do what you're asked. You know, don't shortcut it, don't whine, don't complain. This is what you were given. Follow through with it. And so they would constantly push that idea with him. His whole thing is hustle, loyalty, respect. I mean, we live in a world that isn't very loyal.
Yeah. Continue.
Are you guys doing the theme song?
Yeah,
Is that what I just heard?
I said loyal, and I thought they were doing the.
No.
But he's always been, at least in WWE, he's been living that image. And I used to like grow up and like I would always point at the screen and be like, "That's who I want to be." Yes. But he was a huge one.
Yeah, you can't see me.
Yeah, huge.
Dude, where'd Betty
Do
go?
you guys have any? Do you have any other?
Sorry. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry.
That's hilarious.
That was good. I
That's
get
great,
it.
that's
I get
good,
it
that's
because
good.
you know.
Yeah,
it's,
it's
you know.
just-
That's actually one of my favorite memes is when like people post pictures of like, oh, I ran into John Cena, and everyone's like, wow, this person really posted a picture of nobody. Like,
Yeah.
That was a core memory. Was the WrestleMania promos that they did for him and The Rock. Those are good.
Yeah.
Did you see those?
I didn't grow up watching WrestleMania or WWE. My like big heroes growing up was Tony Hawk because I grew up skateboarding, so I watched like everything was Tony Hawk. And then I played basketball, so I just idolized Kobe. And it was the same thing with the both of them of like Kobe was very much like, no, you just put in the hard work. If you want to be the best, you work harder than everybody, and you do that. And then with Tony Hawk, it was like it was kind of the same thing where he was smaller, skinnier than most other skaters. He didn't have the power or energy to like actually air out of ramps, so he had to figure out how to do things differently.
Yeah.
And he was like, I just didn't let those things stop me. I just learned how to adapt and overcome that. So
Yeah.
wow. We were listening to the sermon, I was like, wow, really, people are still saying, because I'm old enough to remember Chuck Norris and the Chuck Norris jokes and some Clint Eastwood movies. He was older and stuff like that. But I was genuinely curious of like, oh, I wonder who students would say today. And I'm imagining maybe it's a lot of the WWE guys.
Yeah.
That was pretty popular around
Jalen
then.
Hurts.
Oh yeah, you're an Eagles
I'm
fan.
an
huh?
Eagles fan, so I look up to him a lot. He's just such a chill guy. Like, yeah, he works hard. He's very like a man of like God in his character. Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Number
yeah.
one.
I heard it. You got to pay attention.
Yeah, you gotta. How about
The
you,
light
Hayden?
back there
Yeah,
turned off.
the light turned off.
Yeah.
I saw that
That's
too.
why I started freaking out.
How about you, Hayden? If you think of a
When I
man.
think, I can't think of like a man specifically, but like generically, when I think of a man, I think of a bearded guy. I think of someone in the military, dude. I think of the guy with the biggest muscles. Like, I just think of a man.
Yeah.
Just an intimidating dude.
Just,
Intimidating dude
dude.
is a key characteristic right there, though.
Yeah.
So to be a man, do you have to be intimidating?
No. No.
no?
No, I don't think so. I think to be a man, which
We'll segue this into
yeah,
the next
this-
question.
this
yeah.
segue- to be a man is to
Which would be, what does it mean to be a man? There we go. What do you guys think it means to be a man?
to be a man is to be someone that puts other people before them, that has a work ethic, that has a drive, that is striving to get somewhere, whether it's for themselves or for someone else. A man of God, really, someone that reads their Bible, someone that comes to church, someone that spreads the gospel, someone that is discipled and disciples other people.
Yeah, I think I agree when you said like putting yourself over. No, not yourself.
I know, I got that mixed up too.
I got that mixed up.
Others,
Putting
before
others
yourself.
over yourself.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a huge thing about being a man is don't be selfish. Like if you're selfish, I think there's so many things that you could do wrong in relationships with your friends, girlfriend, whatever, wives. Wives is crazy. My bad. Wife.
That's not a man.
That's
Yeah,
not.
we-
no,
we-
that's
we-
not a
we-
manly guy. That's
Trust me.
It's not manly.
As a married man, you don't want wives.
Wives, no,
you
just
want
one.
just
It's not
manly
Trust
to
me,
have
you
many
want
wives.
just one.
But
You're
yeah,
not cool if you have
I
many
think
wives.
being a. Okay.
What?
You looked at me and went, "You're uncool if you have many wives." Like,
You're uncool. You're not a man.
Yeah. And just like having responsibility and just taking care of those responsibilities. I mean, just I think it's selfless. A man should be selfless. So I think that's a big character that I see in my dad, and that I'm trying to take is I want to be selfless. Whether if it's I'm doing something for my family, for my friends, or for somebody even like that I don't know, I want to be selfless of. And I know that's hard. It's easy to say, but it's hard to act because that's not our first thought. But at the same time, I think a man is selfless.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good. So a little extra question,
Yeah.
extra credit. What do you think? Because you guys are all under the age of 20.
Yeah.
How do you think it looks?
Are we sure?
no,
we're
not starting this. Keep going.
Yeah.
Or what, are they making old jokes about you now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's ancient.
You guys are all under the age of 20. How does a single male be selfless in his singleness? Because like as a married person, it's easy for me to be like, oh, I need to be selfless. I need to take care of Zion. I got to take care of Viv. I got to put their needs before mine. But how do you do that as a young man?
I mean, you can have opportunities to be selfless every day. That's you don't have to be married or have a girlfriend to be selfless. You could do that with your family around you, with your friends around you. Of like when your mom asks you to do something, or you're just selfless. You're there to help. You're there to support. You're there to just be selfless and enjoy each other's company,
Right.
but at the same time work through things of like even when you're fighting, it's like you don't instantly think, oh, I'm right and I'm do this, but that's our first instinct is to be like, you're so defensive. I'm so defensive most of the time. It's not even funny, but I try to think of like both sides of how they look at it. If I'm arguing with my friends, I'd be like, I'm like. But I look at what their point of view is and work that out. But yeah, that's how you can be selfless.
That's good.
Selfless.
Yeah.
Dean, what do you think it means to be a man?
I mean, it's kind of.
voice. Yeah, go ahead. My bad.
I think. I tried. I think it's like a combination of what they both said. I definitely think it's somebody like somebody who can adapt as well. I could say.
Yeah.
I mean, the world's kind of a place that constantly changes and shifts, and we need to be able to move around and try and like be prepared for whatever is like coming at us, for whatever we are facing.
Yeah.
because there could be somebody in our life that can't. It could be somebody that might not have the income that they need to overcome it, or that could be a kid who doesn't know what's going on, or it could be anything.
Yeah.
But learning adaptability, learning loyalty, honesty, self-respect, selfless,
Self-respect. Yeah.
that one, the one that he said,
Yeah, that one.
selflessness.
Yeah, I agree.
I said it right.
Oh,
Yeah, you did.
I think you got something very special there with the adaptability part, because oftentimes, like, I'm sure you guys have been in stressful situations before. The people that are freaking out in the stressful situations make it way worse.
Yeah, if you freak out,
And I'm not saying like being adaptable is only a male thing, but there is something that comes to that of like being able to stay under control in those intense situations and be able to help other people figure those things out. Yeah, adaptable is a very good one.
That's
Adapt and overcome.
patience too.
Patience.
Patience.
Yeah.
Smitty is. Oh my gosh, all he talks about is patience. Every time I bring any problem to him, he'll just patience. You know, just pray about it. Pray about it. And I'm I know, Manny, it's so hard.
Unc gotta spit. You know, like he's you gotta be patient. You gotta be because I mean, think about Jesus. Like he is so patient with us. Like God is so patient with us, no matter what we're doing, how we're acting. What you're
I don't know. Why'd you just look at the screen like that?
Dude, he just like popped up right there. That's so crazy. He's on the screen.
Jesus?
Yeah. That's a photo of him right there.
I thought I was going to be able to edit this video in one day, but with the amount of things you're talking about on this green screen.
Sorry.
You were actually onto a good point. Please
I was
continue.
on a good point. Patient. Jesus is very patient with us, and as a man, I think you're going to have a lot of trouble. In this world, and having patience is one key thing that you need to have of being calm and figuring out what you need to do in life to go onto the right path.
Right.
As you need patience. And my dad always said this to me: delayed gratification. And delayed gratification is something that I'm trying to build. Is instead of right now, in today's world, we get everything instantly. Instantly, what we want, what we do. It's not even with stuff, even with the relationships, of being in a relationship so quickly and all of that. My dad always told me delayed gratification. That comes so much, like that's what you're going to have to do as you grow up is with money, with your family. It's just delayed gratification. You're not going to be wanting to do what you want to do all the time. So patience is a big thing for me.
Yeah. And as someone that is 30, a little farther down the road than all of you guys, patience is the heart. It's not that surprising.
A little shocked.
Patience is the hardest part to learn.
It is.
I always make the joke to Viv where I'm like, one day I'm going to stop asking God to give me patience because he gives me the tests to test my patience, and I fail every single time. But that is true. Like even as a millennial, like there was a lot of immediate gratification in a lot of these things, and like learning to have the patience to say like, no, like what I want to do is this, but what I need to do is this.
Yeah.
So let me do what I need to do first and take care of that. And that makes the wants easier later.
Yeah.
What's so
No,
funny?
I was just thinking of like how we always text about that one thing.
Yeah. Saying no to yourself too. Like that's a big thing. I mean, saying no to yourself is one thing I struggle at, especially when it comes to like video games or hanging out with my friends or just even food. Food is a big thing. Saying no to yourself can be something that you need to develop as a person if you want to become.
And if you learn to do that earlier, it gets a lot easier as you get older.
Yeah.
So what are steps that you guys take to be patient then?
Oh, okay. I mean,
I could start.
You can start.
Oh, yeah,
you
yeah,
have
that'd be
more
great.
opportunities, probably. You know,
I've had a lot of opportunities.
Please stop coughing on the pod. Thank you.
That's slang for podcast.
Chat, if you're watching at home.
I'm being patient with Dean right now.
Yeah, see, he's testing you.
One thing I've learned when trying to become more patient is to not take everything personally. I think one of the things that happens when I'm being impatient is my feelings get hurt from how someone else is treating me. And so I either snap back with saying the not nicest things because I have a mouth on me, or I'll just get angry and start yelling. So learning to not take things personally, recognize that some people will be reacting out of like trying to get a rise out of you. And the bigger key as a male, from what I've learned, is not letting that get to you.
Yeah.
But I've also learned, because like a lot of my patience comes from arguments Viv and I have. And most of the time, when I'm learning to be patient, I've learned to, when I'm doing this well, I don't do this well every single time, but I'm learning to recognize that what Viv is trying to say might not be what I'm hearing. Like we might be on two different things. So be patient and give her grace of like, okay, let's keep talking about this until we're on the same page.
Yeah.
And then offer that same thing of like, hey, this person might be responding from a place that is hurt or not healthy right now, or not saying Viv is unhealthy, but like there's a lot of things that go on where she could be stressed out, she could be anxious, she could be tired, like all these things. And we all know if we don't respond well, if I don't respond well when I'm tired and hungry, why should I expect Viv to respond perfectly when she's tired and hungry? Yeah. I say all of that knowing I will probably fail a patience test when I get home today. But those are some of the things I start thinking through, and I'm like trying to wrap my mind around.
So,
because it's like you were saying, Jesus was patient with tons of people. Like, imagine you have the church elites rolling up trying to test your knowledge on everything. Yeah. And you know who you are, but you have to be patient and like respond well in that. So
it sounds like patience is directly aligning with being a man. Like you said, you're like me as a male, you know, and having grace can also correlate with being a man, you know, understanding what other people are going through, kind of like Mehdi said, and just having grace, you know, peace, and peace is also a big thing. Having peace.
Peace, for sure.
And being able to create peace in a stressful situation.
Yeah, absolutely. I think our first instinct as men is to lash out. Like that's when we get angry, especially. So having that of like, that one thing that helps me to be patient is looking at inner me of like how I'm feeling right now. Like, so that's why when I'm like, whether if at home I get in trouble or if I'm having a conflict between my parents, my siblings, my friends, is I don't say anything at first. Like that's one thing I developed in me, to not say anything that I would regret and do. So I kind of just let them talk. And sometimes it's like, I'm like, I interrupt, but like most of the time I'm like, okay, just hear them out and then go. Or like, if it gets too bad, I walk away from the conversation. Like, can we talk about this later? So that's one thing that helps me with patience during conflict, is to calm yourself down and look at yourself of like, what am I feeling? What am I about to say that may hurt this person? So, yeah.
Quick to listen,
Hi,
slow to
guys.
speak.
Exactly.
One way I've dealt with patience when it comes to dealing with people, at least, is always just giving them a minute to calm down or collect whatever they need to. Because in me giving them a minute, I also get a minute to chill out for a second. There's been a lot of times where I just need to let things ride out. Like if it's somebody doing something that I don't agree with, I'll just push it out a little bit, and then when they come to me with something about it, or if they come to me with it, I can explain it to them in a calm way, and that way they see what I'm trying to see. Yeah. Or they see what I see, at least. And then when it comes to things, just like that aren't in relationship with people or anything like that, it's always been like worrying about what I do have now. So, as an example, if I want like the new game that's coming out, and I can't get it yet, it'll always be, well, I still have this game that I haven't beat. I have this game that Hayden and I play all the time. Let's call him, hop on. I can stream again later. Like it's always worrying about what I have now, and then if God wants me to, I'll get the game. But if not, I won't, and I'll wind up forgetting about it.
Yeah, so. Learning to be patient ultimately brings more joy. What is so funny?
I didn't even do nothing funny this time. The one time I was actually serious. Me and Benny went like this.
We touched hands on it,
and we slowly went.
Oh, here we go. But learning to be patient can help you become more grateful for what you do have, find joy in the everyday. Yeah, totally. I love it. Those are all great answers. I'm really glad we recorded this episode. Okay, last question before we start to wrap up. You guys have all graduated. You guys recently graduated. You've been out for a couple of years. What would you say?
A couple of years now.
Yeah, it's
2 years. 2 years.
23.
4 years.
Still 24.
6 years.
Anyway,
Okay.
anyway, what would you guys say to encourage young men specifically, but also just any student as you guys navigated going to school and being a Christian?
It's kind of. Oh yeah, go ahead. No, I
you
wasn't talking.
Go ahead.
'Cause
do you wanna go?
You all had very
Yeah,
different
I will.
school experiences, but you still interact with other students.
So,
So
yeah.
how would you encourage students that are trying to figure out their faith but still going to school?
So, I can talk from example. My first 2 years of going to school was not a Christian. Like I was mentioning earlier, was not a Christian. I became a Christian, and my whole point of view on everything changed. I started trying in school. I started talking to more people. I decided that some people weren't good people for me because of my values, and their values were so much different. And just navigating through being a Christian and wondering, like, what are people going to think of me? What are people going to say about me? How are people going to feel based on me being a Christian and my beliefs? And it's a hard thing. It could be a discouraging thing, but you have to just endure and help other people see your way and God's way at the end of the day. That's what it's about.
Oh, you're looking at me. Okay.
Do you wanna go or do you want me to
You
go?
can go if you want. I've been talking a lot. I
Rock,
felt
paper,
like.
scissors?
Oh my gosh.
Rock, paper, scissors. I win.
All right.
Okay, let's go. Go. You go.
Oh, no, wait.
You go.
Go, Dean.
I
Just
choose
go.
fine. Dean.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I went to a Christian school, and for a while I thought that it would be an easy ride. Everybody else has the same, faith as me. I can talk to them about the same things that I talked to at Sandals. Like almost my first day, that was not the case. There was a lot of bad things that happened at that school. Not to bash the school itself. I'm talking about the students, obviously. But
You're bashing the students.
This is crazy.
but it very much was not the place that I thought it was going to be. And I had to learn really quickly that it doesn't matter what other people say about you. I tell my kids that all the time.
Yeah.
That was my main thing. Elementary school and middle school was heavily made fun of, and it felt like there was nowhere for me to go. And then I went to this school because one of my friends invited me to it, and I thought it was going to be different. It was a little bit of the same thing, but a lot of what I've got was eventually just like a switch flipped.
Switch, flip.
A switch flip.
Switch flip.
A switch flipped.
Flip the switch.
Flip the switch.
Whatever. Either way, I just started realizing I can't keep worrying about what they're saying because eventually I'm not going to be the person I want to be.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I graduated last year.
2 years ago.
No,
Go ahead.
but I can't even then. I can't tell you anything anybody has said about me negative from that year.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I always tell my boys this, it doesn't matter what people say about you. It doesn't matter what they think about you. You're not going to remember them. Okay, I can for my senior class, but I can't tell you about any of the kids from elementary, middle school. I couldn't tell you a single kid that goes to that class, let alone anything they've done to me or said about me.
Yeah.
Always live how you want to live, and if there's people out there that don't like that, that's not your problem. And if they don't like you for you, and they want to call you out, or they can call you out, but if they don't like you for you, then there's not a point in being friends with them anyways.
You being a follower of Jesus.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
If
say
you
always live
live
how Jesus wants you to live.
Yeah.
Not the way
I
you
get
live.
what you're trying to say.
Don't be
yes.
disrespectful towards
Yeah.
others, but at the same time, if they're gonna be snarky about it, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't do any of that because I'm a Christian or
Be
something,
patient.
and they're gonna be like, oh, so you're not cool then, and then
You'd be like,
That's fine.
yes, I'm not cool.
I love Jesus.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
I agree.
Maddie, send us home.
They both said the same things. I mean, I didn't go to school. I went online my whole entire from freshman year till senior year. But I did play football for King High School. If you go to King, I apologize. So sorry for you guys. And being in the football team, and you know how football players are, just a typical jockey kind of environment. And playing football and the things that they were doing, I'm not going to do. The things that they want to do after practice or the things that they want to do during the week and hanging out as a... Why are you laughing? As
I don't think
That wasn't me.
I walked in with
Yeah, I'm locked in.
In this recording,
If
put it
anything-
on that camera. He was looking at me the entire
If
time. He
anything,
can't play
this is
anything.
just solidifying that Dean and Hayden no longer get to be in these together.
I wasn't doing anything. I was just
Okay, we're running wrong. We're running wrong. Betty, we'll
Anyway,
discuss this. Yeah.
it's figuring out what the world thinks is of me versus what God thinks of me.
Yeah.
And I don't care. I care less of what the world says about me.
Right.
That's why most people think of me as like I have an ego or something. I don't. It's maybe a little bit, but everybody has a little bit of ego. But it's more of like the confidence of I know what God says about me, and I know what I'm supposed to do. And I'm not living for the world, but I'm living for Jesus, for God, and what He wants me to do in my life. So that's one thing I had to navigate through since freshman year to senior year is what's that boundaries like. And I didn't get it at first. Freshman year and sophomore year was hit rough, but towards my junior year, senior year, I have really grown in that of like, yeah, this is what the world says and this is what God says. And understanding that is very, very, very cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff for everybody.
love what God says.
Fellas, thank you for being on this episode.
Yeah.
Can I sign us off? Can I say that?
Again, we don't even have a sign off.
I can do it.
We're past our time.
Watch. Every time we have the pod from now on, can I just like get my own segment where I intro and outro?
No.
You barely stayed on topic.
I stayed on topic almost the whole time.
And you and Hayden kept making faces at each other the
It
entire
was funny though.
You wasn't even there.
I was sitting right
here.
His pants are on fire.
I see why. Okay, fine, Dean.
Oh.
Fine. Do the sign off, Dean.
All right.
Damian.
You
What's
get
up,
one
SCY?
chance. Stop doing Kermit.
What's up?
SCY, we love you. We're praying for you. If you were looking to connect with us, drop something in the comments. We'll connect with you. Join our Discord. Young men, we're praying for you. Grow up to be the man
love
God's
you.
calling
We
to be.
love you.
Love you guys.
Love
Thank
you
you
guys.
so much. Peace.
Peace out.
Hayden.Beck with two
Mia
subs on
is
Instagram.
crying, laughing over there.
Mia, you could just hit the record button. To stop it.
Yeah.